Okay, it's a bit chilly today, but let me show you how my vegetable which overwintered in the hoop house are responding to the change of the weather. As you can see, these are bok choy, and I have some mustard greens which I do love on my soup and stir fried, and there are some more bok choys down there. Celery is starting to come up there as well. More mustard in that corner. And here's I don't know if I should be disappointed or I should be pleased, because this daikon radish here have a very nice big root, which I hate to just leave it alone. I say leave it alone because I'm wondering if I should keep it for seeds. It's a very beautiful daikon radish plant, and as you can see, it's responding to the change of the weather. These are buds that is going to be flowers, and therefore that will give me lots of seeds eventually. And here's another one. This one is also having lots of buds down there, which are going to be flowers that will produce the seeds. And this one also is having a beautiful, nice looking root right there, that white big white one right there. And more these are tak choy, and as you can see, there are some holes in there, which tells me I have some slugs in here, and that's okay. The rest of the leaves will still be edibles. Those that are damaged, I just get rid of that and let my chicken and my dogs enjoy that as well. And here's some of my celery that I planted directly here, and more bok choy. That's bok choy and some mustard greens there. I even have some miner's lettuce right there. Those are miner's lettuce. And I do have some onions around the perimeters. You can see right there. Some garlic. I know that I stuck here, and I'll be able to tell later on if they're garlic or onion or everything's growing here, and I lost track of what they are. I believe this one is a leek right here. That's leek. Yeah, I have several leeks on this bed here. And let me show you how you can tell that the weather is changing. Look at my pepper plant right here. You see that? Lots of buds in this tiny little plant. And here is another. Actually, this one has bloomed already. See? I got a purple bloom there. And all around are tiny little buds. I have mustard green here as well. And from the look of this bed here, this area, the weather is really warming up. And this one, another daikon radish, and this one actually have a bloom right there, one bloom and lots of buds. I have this is red Russian kale. Back there I have some beets. Those are bull's blood beets and shallot growing along the edges, as you can see. Trying to create a shadow because the sun is a bit intense, even though it's a little chilly today, but the sun is shining. And more beets back there, and mustard greens. Now, how is this with the change of the weather? Let me create a shadow so you could see. Now this is my bok choy right here. It's in full bloom. Okay. And that's more celery, which I planted directly on the ground. I did not transplant this in a container. Just put this directly on the ground. Some more beets and bok choy in bloom. Pardon me. And look at this bok choy. It looks like well, those are damaged from the slugs. I believe I have slugs, but I'm leaving this so that the slug could be content and happy in this area here and not go somewhere else to damage the rest of the plant. So that's my bait right there, or I believe I called this in my some of my videos before. In the past, I called this my sacrificial plant. And as you can see, because the slug is content with this plant here, it's not messing with my celeries. As you can see, the celeries are very, very healthy. They're untouched, whereas if you look carefully, this bok choy is full of holes, and this is what the slugs are feasting on. And again, over here, I got another daikon radish right there. It's about to bloom as well. And this area, if you remember, this is where all of my daikon radish were at, and I harvested all of them. I still have some in the fridge, and they really the daikon radish root store very well in the refrigerator. I still have some that are still nice and fresh looking, nice and firm. And over there, there's another celery and more beets in that area right there, as you can see. And more beets and some garlic along the edges. These are some very healthy looking greens. Pretty soon I'm gonna be eating more greens than I can handle. So these are over here, these are colored greens. That's colored green as well. More colored green. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought this is broccoli, but I could be mistaken. It looks more like colored green as well. So there we go, my mistake again. This looks more like colored greens here instead of broccoli, and I thought I had planted 2 broccolis here. As always is the case, never fail to make mistake. But as you can see, the chards are coming back. They died on me during the bitter cold, but they're starting to come back, as you can see. And here is my container here where I planted 3 broccoli. And this the broccolis that overwintered here. I planted 3 seedlings in this container, and as you can see, it's starting to have a head of broccoli. Look at this side. They're just the cutest little thing when they're starting out. There. And the other one I can't get to. So in this bed I have broccoli, and in there is a red Russian kale. I think I even have, if you look carefully, in there is hiding some rainbow chards. And over here you see cabbage developing ahead also. And now when it comes to cabbage and cauliflower, it is said in the companion planting chart that you should not plant them together. I was able to do that in the past to see what will happen if I do, and I was able to harvest cauliflower and broccoli in the same area that I planted them in. Now, cabbage on the other hand, right there, as you can see, it grows close to the ground. Now, it is easily understood and obvious that because of the cabbage growing habit being close to the ground, the broccoli and the cauliflower will tower above it, and therefore it'll be shaded from the sun, which is needed for it to photosynthesize. But if this is something I have done in the past and is doing it again, and I'm going to show you that it can be done. You could grow them together just by making sure that the location of the cabbage is in the area where it will get lots of sun and not be shaded too much by anything towering above it. Now this raised bed here is facing south, and this location here would be the east where the sun rises, and then it will travel coming this way to the south, heading this side to the west. And so therefore, soon as the sun rises, the cabbage will get the light that it needs all day long as it travels from east, south, west. So the orientation of the planting of your cabbage or any plant is very important depending on what kind of plants you have growing around it. So as you can see, these are the seedlings which I transplanted, and now what we are doing is keeping them here in the greenhouse to acclimate and harden, so that when the weather is really warm enough for me to plant this outdoor, it'll be ready when that time comes.